Live Culture Talk Live. A live voltou e voltou com força máxima num dia especial. Antes de saudar os convidados, saudar o Christian. Hoje a gente comemora em grande estilo os 36 anos de Darkness Descends. 36 anos, estamos ficando velhos, malucos, mas cada vez mais entusiasmados. Não vamos desanimar. Christian, seja bem-vindo, Christian.
Valeu.
E hoje, Eric Meyer!
Yeah! I'm so glad to see you guys, man. Yeah! Fucking awesome. Beautiful.
A gente vai comemorar 36 anos, né? 17 de novembro de 1986, o Dark Angel lança um torpedo, Darkness Descends. Christian, eu quero começar falando do play, né? Depois a gente dá uma atualizada de como tá o Dark Angel, tá? Para perguntar pro Eric como ele se sente, cara, 36 anos desse disco que ele marcou demais. Como ele se sente hoje após 36 anos, enfim.
Okay. Jay is asking about how do you feel about the 36 years old Darkness Descent, you know, it's like it's the anniversary of the album. It's like very important for a generation that have been listened to it since it was released, you know. It's like, how do you feel about it?
Oh my God. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, it's so good to have, as a musician, it's like the best feeling to have created something that people find to be like an iconic thing. I mean, that's the most you could ever ask for, you know, is to have something that is 30 years ago. And that was a record that we banged out 10 sessions. We're in our early 20s. And to think that anybody would hold it in such high esteem this so much later is fucking awesome, man. It's amazing.
Great to hear that. Speaking in Portuguese a little bit, ele fala que tá sendo fantástico isso, né? Porque o álbum se tornou um álbum icônico, né? E importante também, e é legal isso, ver como ele, né, tem essa força ainda. Todo mundo, quando eles lançaram, a galera tava agitando bastante, né? Então, tipo, e ele é um álbum que ainda tem bastante força. Agora eu vou perguntar uma pergunta para ele, só te cortar aí, Jay. So it's like, still talking about Darkness Descent, it is kind of a trademark for Dark Angel, you know. It's like, as you said, it became iconic, and also it's a reference for lots of thrash metal bands that became more aggressive, you know, like this album. I think it was like in that time and still on one of the most aggressive releases in thrash metal bands. You know, it wasn't like it's like how do you see this? You know.
Well, I mean, I would agree with you. You know, I mean, when we recorded it, we had just gotten Gene Hoglan in the band, and when you have from Terry the Temple, it just really everything to another level, you know. And I'm songwriter, also played guitar, right? You know, getting band really that much farther along. So yeah.
Tá falhando lá, Christian? Travou, né?
Tá com áudio. Mas ele falou ali. Bom, ele fala que quando eles começaram o álbum, eles têm o Gene Hoglan nesse álbum, né? Então isso já fez uma diferença também. E isso foi meio que natural, assim, uma coisa que eles trabalharam, né? E agora está cada vez mais dentro disso, assim. Cortou um pouco ali o áudio, mas o que eu peguei ali a sequência, tipo, ele ainda é bem contente a respeito desse álbum ser celebrado como um álbum dos mais agressivos.
E o que motivou eles a virar? Porque o álbum anterior ele tinha uma pegada trash e o Darkness Descends realmente foi mais, ele acelerou, né? Até o Ivan, né, o grande Ivan aí da Site Empire, nosso parceiraço, comentou comigo de tarde que ele considera o Darkness Descends um marco diriam quase um death metal. O que motivou eles a acelerar?
Okay. Jay is asking about the changing of the sound from the Darkness Descends, like sword. From we have arrived to Darkness Descends because the band changed a lot. Like you had Gene Hoglan on the drums, still have the same singer, which for us here in Brazil, it's a surprise because everybody, there was kind of a myth, something like that. You have changed the vocals and things like that because nobody believed that it was the same singer.
From We Have Arrived at the
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this alteration, and also like why did you think you become more aggressive and almost a death metal band? Because this album influenced lots of thrash metal bands and also lots of death metal bands.
Yeah, man. You know what? I think that's got a lot to do with the half-step thing. Or a lot of that's just kind of more of the death metal kind of thing. All those.
Yeah.
And the vocals. I mean, that was really conscious effort to make it sound rougher, so to speak. So yeah.
Bom, ele fala que a mudança ali no vocal foi que eles queriam deixar ele mais, né, tosco, né, e também puxar mais para frente, né, tipo, botar o Dark Angel mais à frente. Então, ele sim tem muita similaridade com o Death Metal por causa disso. Eles aceleraram a coisa mesmo, com esse propósito. Tu tá sem áudio, Jay.
Quais bandas que inspiraram eles a descer o cacete?
Okay, Jay is asking about your inspirations to create this thrash metal,
What are the inspirations?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when we were going to do the Dark,
yeah,
it was a conscious effort to be ultra fast and just ultra heavy. It was just a conscious effort to want to step it up a notch. And like I said, when we got, I mean, we had songs that were kind of right, and we were writing so much, of course, before immediately we were writing, but then the band are playing it. I played everything so much. We're like, and it was like what we're doing now. Yeah, we're taking it there. That's what we're going to do, and it's amazing to see how all the progression genre has really occurred from there. With coming out, it's amazing. So yeah, that was definitely a focused thought about thing to go stream. Take the band. So.
Ok. Eu vou pedir para ele falar um pouquinho mais perto do microfone ali que tá cortando, tá? Mas a princípio ele fala que isso foi meio que natural. Eles estavam já querendo ficar mais agressivos, estavam indo para as bandas no geral estavam indo para esse lado mais agressivo. Assim, o teu microfone está com problema, é o dele que também tá instalando alguma coisa. Mas eles quiseram dar uma sequência mais agressiva para a banda, assim. Eric, I just need you to talk a little bit closer to the microphone because sometimes your audio cuts off, so it's like like that. Yeah, it's like.
Okay.
Great. Okay, Jay, pode perguntar aí. Agora tu tá sem áudio de novo.
Eu tô fechando para não vazar áudio. Das 7
Tá.
faixas do Play, qual ele considera as mais aí, as preferidas dele, né? E em paralelo eu queria entender de onde saiu aquela inspiração para aquela intro do Darkness Descends, que eu acho que é uma das intros mais espetaculares da história do thrash metal. É tipo uma Hellway, né?
Sim.
Tem um climão assim e para mim é épico, chega a ser épico. Né? E qual as melhores faixas aí na visão dele? E que se ele tem alguma curiosidade aí para contar para a gente como é que foi a gravação?
Sim. Okay, Jay is asking, like, which are your favorite songs on Darkness Descent? And also, he is asking about the intro of the album because it was like one of the most fascinating intros in thrash metal, you know, like Slayer or something like that. You agree, like, my God, what is to come, you know, because the intro is like so. It's like it is a catchy intro, you know. You get like excited to listen to it.
The fading in of the feedback, right?
Yeah, and then it's like,
it's just you know, honestly, that all that feedback intro was stuff that I did, and honestly, when I was a youngster learning to play guitar, I was really inspired by Ted Nugent, and Ted Nugent was a big feedback guy. So when I didn't really know how to play guitar, I was learning how to make the fucker feedback and standing in front of the amp and shit like that when I couldn't really play. So it was really kind of silly like that. But it was great to actually be able to bring some of that into the Dark Angel and do like a lot of feedback and stuff. Like you hear Hunger of the Undead, it starts off with the feedback kind of singing. And that was another thing that I did. And that was kind of like my Ted Nugent inspired thing from just doing the feedback off the amp. Yeah. It's a whole science doing that. And, you know, for the start of the record, you say that's just, it's layers. It's like 4 different kinds. You got low feedbacks and you got high feedbacks. And for the songs, I mean, I really love Burning of Sodom. I love Death is Certain. And I love Darkness Descends too. I think those are my favorites right there.
Darkness Descends, I think, is the classic, you know. It's something
Me too.
Everybody,
yes,
it's
I
like
love it too.
The song, you know. Well, speaking in Portuguese, bom, ele falaria um pouco sobre a influência dele, né, com o Ted Nugget, que foi o que motivou ele a fazer aquela intro ali, porque quando ele não sabia tocar guitarra, né, ele se inspirava bastante no Ted Nugget e para ter esse retorno também. Ele foi no feeling, aquela introdução ali, né, ele também se baseou muito no que o Ted Nugget usava, né, aparelhagem, coisa assim que foi muito importante para ele. Então, ele tentou fazer isso, né, e ele ficou bem feliz, assim, com o retorno que isso deu, né? Tipo, ainda tem um retorno ainda do que foi fazer essa introdução, mas ele sempre prestou atenção nessas coisas ligadas ao Ted Nugget, que era uma coisa que ele queria trazer para dentro do thrash metal, né? Ele queria, né, aprender a tocar guitarra quando ele estava aprendendo a tocar guitarra, então foi muito importante para ele. Então ele estava sempre observando o que ele fazia e também tipos de amplificação, coisa e tal. Tanto aquela história do fade-in dentro da música ali, justamente para dar um clima que ficou bem legal. Quantas músicas favoritas vocês ouviram ele falar aí, né?
Hey, I have something fun that I want to show you guys. Hang on.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, surprise.
Whoa!
The Darkness Descends guitar, man.
Whoa!
Cara, olha só, bicho.
This is the guitar that I used on the first 2 records. So I thought you guys might get a kick, and everybody in Brazil might get a kick out of that.
Fantastic.
I don't play it anymore, but yeah, here it is. Yeah, this is kind of cool too. You know, it's a Dean guitar. You know, the Dean, kind of made popular by Dimebag Darrell, and I actually got an autograph of this. This is Dean's autograph. Dean's.
Whoa!
He's so yeah, that was really cool. I met him at a trade show, one of those NAMM shows, the big famous shows that they have here in Los Angeles. But yeah, I thought everybody would get a kick out of seeing that. And this is
that was amazing.
It's the original guitar, man. The original.
Cara,
Em português for the audience here, so. Ele tá mostrando aí, né? O Jay já entendeu também. Ele tá mostrando a guitarra que ele usou para gravar os Darkness do Santa, a filha ali. Inclusive, né? Um adeno ali, tem o autógrafo do próprio Dean atrás ali, né? Que ele ganhou e ele, né? Não toca mais com ela, mas ela tá ali, né? Ela, tá aí a guitarra que há 36 anos atrás começou a bagaça toda, né?
Eu vou abrir um parêntese, já que a gente falou aí ao vivo, né? O Dark Angel vai tocar no Chile.
Sim.
Num festival aí. A pergunta pro Eric, não vai rolar Brasil?
Jay is asking about the festival that you're going to be playing in Chile, and is there any chance of playing in Brazil? Because, you know, lots of Brazilian people are waiting for this for a long, long time.
Right? I mean, I would love to. I don't know if anything like that is coming up. You know, we just announced the show in Chile, so that's playing. I mean, that's so exciting for us because it was our first show that we did in 2014. So there was a lot of nerves on our part, you know, because that was the first time back. And it was a really big show. And it all worked out amazing. But yeah, the fans over there are so awesome. And we're just excited to be coming back and doing that gig again.
So, sure. Ok, falando ali do Chile, né, eles começaram a divulgar há pouco esse negócio do Chile, estão bem entusiasmados, o público também está bem entusiasmado, ele espera que dê ainda para fazer, eles querem tocar no Brasil, né, mas não depende só deles também, né, então
vamos promover.
Tem toda essa questão aí da audiência, que ele, né, do público, né, que ele está bem contente com essa parte de estar voltando e o pessoal ter um interesse na banda, né? E isso é interessante, assim.
Então, ó, tá, tem aí, abrir um parêntese aí, né? Vamos divulgar isso. Não é possível o Dark Angel tocar no Chile e não tocar no Brasil, como aconteceu com o Def, que tocou no México e não tocou no Brasil. Enfim. Gabriel McPollen, my friend, I love you, man.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Reaching out to me to do that, and it's awesome.
Lê a perguntinha, por favor.
Gabriel asked if there is a chance of a new recording in 2023.
We're hoping so, man. We're demoing out right now, so yeah, that is the plan, and we are demoing new music, so it is definitely something that is gonna happen.
Wow!
Yeah, man. For real.
That's great.
For real.
That's great news, yeah. Bom, eles estão preparando uma demo nova, então tem coisa planejada aí, é algo que realmente vai sair. Eles estão planejando material novo e 2023 podemos ter aí, né, Dark Angel tocando com tudo, né? And about this new possibility of a new album, are we going to see some of the old thrash metal mixed with like a new thrash metal? What you're going to do?
You know, I would have to say, I mean, it's kind of like angel music. It's just going to sound like same guys, right? Jim Durkin, Gene Hoglan, myself. So
that's going to be spectacular.
Dude, the songs sound fucking bitchin', man. So I'm real excited. And I know we've been talking about it for years. Seems like it has actually been years, but I have heard the demos. The demos are being done, been popping out songs, and it's moving forward. We're moving forward. You know, Gene kind of free schedule. He was working with Testament for years, and obviously Dark Angel kind of a bit of a side thing when you're touring with a band like that that's on the road all the time and doing records. But now, since he's not playing with them anymore, he can focus a lot more time to it. You know, he just got done doing some stuff with Death Clock, and basically he's working full bore on this right now. So when that guy's working full bore on stuff, it's getting done. So yeah, it's a really exciting time, man. Got gigs on the calendar for next year, and
so are we.
It's just exciting. Good time right now.
Great.
COVID,
Bom, ele...
you know, the COVID thing is over with. Everybody on the road again.
Yeah.
It's just a real exciting time. Everybody's a couple of years older, unfortunately, but
A little bit.
yeah, which kind of sucks. But you know,
Yeah.
sucks for us older guys. But yeah, it's a real good time right now.
Yeah, older but alive and still kicking, you know.
Yeah, actually, everybody's trying to stay healthy and
Yeah.
sober, and you know, going to the gym and trying to, you know, keep
For
life
sure.
going. So yeah.
Okay. We're gonna speak a little bit in Portuguese here. Bom, eu perguntei ali um pouquinho o que esperar sobre esse próximo Dark Angel que vai sair, né? Ele fala ali que, bom, estão mantendo a mesma formação praticamente, né? Eles estão bem emocionados com isso, né? Eles estão trabalhando duro para isso. E, né, pode esperar alguma coisa bem pesada, porque é os caras que fizeram a coisa acontecer, né? Um deles está trabalhando com o Testament na aparelhagem, uma coisa e tal, outro, né, estão meio ocupado, mas eles botaram a banda de volta na estrada, e com certeza vai ter um álbum novo, porque a banda está de volta firme na estrada, né? Isso está motivando mais ainda, né, eles para escrever essas coisas. Eles escreveram algumas coisas das demo, ele já achou fantástico, assim. Então, logo tá descendo o cacete de novo, né?
Como o Eric vê a atual cena trash, Christian? Na visão dele, melhorou? Tá legal? Né? Qual a visão?
Okay. Jay is asking, how do you see the current thrash metal scene? It is like better or worse? You know, like for me, it's kind of, I don't know. Technology fucked something.
Well, I mean, in terms of recording processes, you know, I mean, is that what you're referencing to, like, or more like just the bands?
I think everything, you know, because it's a context, because we have technology. Most of the guys, like, we are about the same age, grew up, changed mind, you know, like as a musician, you evolved and then you develop new techniques, and then the bands are sometimes are not able to play what they started playing because they feel it's like, it's not the same thing to play that, because they kind of lost their rage when they were younger, and then when they're composing, you know, thrash metal without being like that rage, when you start composing, it's like not a real thrash metal band, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm gonna hope that our stuff is gonna be nice, nice. But
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the songs. We got some nasty songs, and but I mean, you just got to think, you know, when someone's in their 20s and they're doing something, and now then when someone's in their late 40s or 50s or something, doing the same kind of thing, I mean, you do kind of mellow out a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't foresee our music doing that. I could see that happens with a lot of bands. Yeah, I mean, it's just, and I think they'll wholeheartedly admit it, you know, because as a person, you're not the same thing. You know, you're not a 20-year-old kid out stealing and drugging and the crazy shit. Because I think times were just kind of different back then, you know. I mean, in the 90s or whatever, then I think things are, you know, now in the 2020s, you know, you're the online shit and the way you kind of have this, you know, if something happens, like the whole online shit can kind of gang up on you and turns into this whole horrible thing. And that wasn't shit that back when we were starting out. There was none of that. You know, we didn't even have cell phones back then. There was no digital recording. I mean, it was just a different age. So I think people have to be a lot more careful with what they put out there a little bit, you know, which is kind of a bummer. But, you know, I think we will still be an edgy band. I sure think that everybody's going to be really excited with our music. I know I'm excited about it. And we're excited. We're excited every time we get to go play, man. We don't play that many shows, So it's like we really leave it all on the table when we do a gig, you know, and that's just a good thing to do. I mean, play when you do the tours and you have you can look at the artists like, fuck, these guys look like they're tired. Well, they are tired, you know, and it's like, well, and it's just, and it kind of makes a disappointment, you know, and I hope kind of, I hope we'll kind of not be that kind of band. So
yeah. Well, one important thing you said, you were excited to see the results, and that's the most important thing, you know, like when you feel that you were doing the thing, that when you started doing that. And then by that, I can say that we are really excited to listen to that because you were excited to show it to us. And this is the most important thing, you know.
Yeah, man. I think you can tell, you know, like as a musician, you can tell if something's good. I mean, I know right off the bat when I hear something, whether or not I'm going to like it. You know, I'm not that guy that hears something 4 times, you know, to let it grow on me. I'm just not that kind of guy personally. And I'll know first fucking little bit of hearing whatever it is, man, you know. If it's a Metallica song or if it's a Pink song, you know, I know right away whether I think it's going to be cool. And it's kind of nice. That first fucking hearing it, I'll go back and it's like, yeah, my opinion was right. The fucking first second that I fucking heard it, you know, like the first time anybody heard "Say Angry," you know, you went, oh, you know what I mean? First time I heard that record, I was like, oh my God. And then everybody else carried on with that same opinion. So I was happy that I kind of played it right. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm excited about the new music, and I think everybody else will be too, for sure.
Yeah. First time that I listened to that, I think I was asking about myself about what the fuck is that drum?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that.
Okay, yeah, speaking of just a little bit.
Ok.
Just a
Resumo, meu querido.
Resumo da notícia, vamos lá. Bom, eu estava falando ali para ele, né, essa diferença, a gente estava conversando, eu e ele, sobre essas diferenças de tecnologia, de quando tu é mais novo, tu é mais agressivo, tu vai ficando mais velho, tu vai evoluindo, ele concorda com isso também. E o que ele vê hoje em dia é muita coisa online, né, tipo, eles estão totalmente emocionados, né, eles estão loucos para ver os resultados das músicas que eles estão colocando nessa demo, tudo. E eu até conversei com ele, tipo, dá pra ver pela emoção deles que vai vir alguma coisa boa, né? Tu deduz, né? Pelo fato que eles estão ali mesmo empenhados em voltar a banda de novo, né? Não só na estrada tocando o álbum clássico, mas também trazendo material novo pra galera. Então isso é importante, né? A gente tava falando ali do amadurecimento de bandas também, que as bandas não conseguem mais ser tão agressivas ou elas vão ficando mais técnicas porque tu vai ficando mais velho, isso é comum, que nem ele falou ali, esse cara olha pro cara, tu parece que tá tocando cansado. Sim, tá cansado, né? Tão velho. Então isso também tem uma diferença no som, assim, a banda, ela tem um amadurecimento, né? Toda banda vai passar por isso, assim. Às vezes é bom, às vezes é ruim, né? Naquela época ali, ele fala, a gente não tinha celular, a gente não tinha quase nada, então a gente não tinha informação, a gente tem muita informação. Então, tipo, a gente tava conversando sobre Metallica também, né? Primeira vez que ele escutou Sem Anger lá, que ele ficou olhando com a cara, né? Eu também. Mas é muito aquela coisa, assim, de o que virá, né? E como tá essa nova onda de thrash metal, assim. Não, mas ele acha que a tecnologia tem ali seu valor, porque em termos de aparelhagem melhorou bastante coisa, né? Tu tem mais acesso à aparelhagem, tu tem estúdio bom, né? Quem, como nós, assim, eu, tu, ele, já tocou em estúdio lá no começo da década de 90, sabe muito bem o que é o inferno na Terra. Vai para um estúdio hoje, tu fica sentado num sofazinho, carinha tocando ali, tu ouvindo outra coisa aqui, né? Então, isso aí já fez com que as bandas melhorassem em técnica, mas tu perde um pouco da agressividade porque tu não tá num muquifo com raiva tocando. Isso também ele fala ali que, tipo,
então, até é o mundo moderno. É o mundo moderno. O Christian pergunta para ele como é que tá os riffs, né? O pessoal brinca, né, que os discos depois do Darkness Descends é uma chuva de o Dark Angel sempre foi conhecido como uma banda que tem uma enxurrada de riffs fodas.
Sim.
Pergunta para Eric se esse novo play a gente pode esperar aí essa saraivada de riff.
Okay. Jay was talking about that everyone is expecting like a rainfall of riffs because you are like a riff master and things like that. And can we expect more riffs for this new album and things that you were preparing? Because it's like a brand for Dark Angel, you know, your riffs.
You know, yeah, I mean, of course, it's a whole ton of great riffs, man. You know, in terms of like the progression of the band, you know, from the Darkness Descends, I think was there were a lot of riffs, but I think the songs weren't really that long. And then we kind of took it more the extreme scars, and then with time to deal with songs 7 minutes long and 8 minutes long. And I would pretty safely say we're not going to be going that kind of huge long effect, but the songs will be a little bit shorter. You know, the riffs will still be there, and the speed will still be there, and it's going to sound like Dark stuff. I mean, it's not going to sound like it isn't going to sound like Ginger. Not that there's anything wrong with Ginger, but you know what I mean. We're not.
Yeah.
We're not going.
It's not going to be something modern.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be a degent thing. You know? So that's. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just not what we're doing. You know, and we're not thinking, oh fuck, we got to make a new record. We got to keep up with everybody else. It's not. That's not where we're at. You know, we're kind of making another Dark Angel record.
Yeah.
And the writers that are guys bands, so it's gonna sound like Dark Angel. You know? I would imagine that, you know, sonically, you know, with the production of the record, I'd imagine it's keep up with everything else that's out there now. That's like I need a crystal ball to see that, you know.
But I can imagine that it's gonna be like heavier than the beginning, because nowadays it's like very easy to do something heavier than it was in our time when we started something, you know.
Yeah. The songs
people still don't understand the difference of distortion, and how you create the riff, you know. And you have to, like, as we say here, it's like you know how to do a riff without a huge mega distortion, you know.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, it's like with basic songwriting, where your song should still sound like a good song, even if you're playing it on or something. If that's kind of what you mean.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's for sure. That's
why Dark Angel is aggressive, even in an acoustic guitar, you know.
Yeah.
And most of the new thrash metal bands or the modern bands, if you play an acoustic guitar, you see like it's not the same thing.
Right? I mean, there's a ton of fucking really good players out there now, and I mean, you got to admit that. I mean, the musicianship has just fucking really gone huge, and I mean, there's some of the guys out there, you know, like the Animals as leader guys and stuff. I mean, they're really kind of taking the whole guitar playing to a whole nother level. And I mean, but like I said, that's kind of a sound that's just not really our genre. I mean, that's metal, but that's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're doing. We're not trying to, you know, get ourselves into that.
Yeah. So it is closer. It's a little bit closer.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
like close. It's not like that, but it's like it's still thrash metal, you know.
Right.
That's the point. Okay, I'm gonna speak a little bit in Portuguese to the audience here. Respondendo a pergunta ali, ele fala que vai ser rifframa, né, normal, não tem como não ter riff sendo Dark Angel. Ele fala que vai ser um pouco diferente na progressão ali, porque Darkness Descends tem músicas compridas, e eles não vão fazer músicas geral tão compridas assim, vai ser um pouco mais curtas, mas com aquela mesma agressividade. A gente estava falando ali até a respeito de como vai soar isso, né, com essa tecnologia nova. Acho que vai soar bem mais pesado, porque o Death Angel, se tu pegar e tocar no Death Angel, Dark Angel, desculpa, se tu tocar num violão é agressivo, se tu tocar alguma coisa mais nova num violão não é agressivo, não adianta, é outra música. Então Então, tipo, e ele fala de, tipo, dessa progressão, quando ele pega para compor músicas, já pensam em algo que vai soar pesado, né? Então, tipo, tem essa diferença. Ele não quer que a banda soe como o Ginger, por exemplo, né? Que é uma coisa moderna, assim. Ele não vê nenhum problema com isso. Deixa bem claro que não tem problema com esse tipo de coisa, mas ele não quer ser esse tipo de banda, tá ligado? Ele quer fazer o que eles fazem, né? Então,
e ele não, assim como o Exodus regravou o Bodied by Blood, eles não pensam em atualizar, em dar uma roupagem
eu espero que
moderna
não.
pro Darkness Descends. É uma pergunta marota, mas eu vou
espero
fazer.
Que não. Eu espero que não.
Eu acho que eu acho que esse é um típico play que surpreenderia numa nova roupagem.
Eu acho que ele tem. Vamos ver. Eu acho que ele deveria ser intocado, mas tudo bem. Jay and I were talking about the remaster that Exodus had about Bounded by Blood. You know, for most of the people, it sucks. You know,
when they redid
yeah, when they redid that, and then Jay was asking if there was a possibility of doing again Darkness Descends, re-recording everything. You know.
No,
I don't think it would be good, in my opinion. Okay. It's like,
I mean, you know, it's kind of weird, man. You know, when you put out, you know, like the Bonded by Blood record. I mean, so it's like that. The first record just had this. It had a vibe about it, you know, and like something that it obviously wasn't really, because all those early records were recorded really not so well, you know. Maybe the drums sound that great, you know, but it's like the record has a vibe about it, you know, and it's like, and it's when you put out a record like that, and for a fan, it's kind of a snapshot of your life, you know. You fucking remember. And like, with the Exodus record, I mean, we played in San Francisco for the very first time, and like I met Gary Holt, was at our first show, and we had been listening to the tape, because the tape came out way before everybody had the tape, before the fucking record came out, and so we'd been listening to Bonded by Blood for months, you know, and then we met Gary at our show, and dude, we were listening to your fucking record the whole time. Went up here and they're like, oh shit, man. He was like bummed out, but it's like everybody had the fucking tape before the thing. And it's just like, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, that's the snapshot of your life at that time. And it's like, you want to put that record on and you want to hear it the way it was, you know? And I think even though I have heard that the new version of it, and it's like, wow, that shit does sound, but it's like, it's just, it's almost like a little bit of the magic is not in there. You know what I mean? I mean, it's it's like a lot of old, I mean, I was really into punk stuff, you know, like in 1980s and shit like that, like Discharge and Dead Kennedys and shit like that, you know, Black and stuff like that. And I mean, that was in 1980, you know, and it's like, I can actually listen to some of that now and go, oh my God, that sounds pretty fucking terrible, you know, but it's just that little, it's just a little memory trigger, you know, and it's just a memory trigger. So yeah, there's no way we would record anything again. I mean,
thank you for that.
we did Merciless Death. We did that one on the first record, and then we did it again on the second record. And I think we actually made a better sound version of it on the second record. But you know, be safe.
Yeah, one thing that is important to mention about Exodus is like that the feeling that they have when they created Bounded by Blood and when they to recreate the feeling, it's not the same thing, because they are different musicians. They grew up, they learned how to play correctly, they didn't have the mistakes that they had when they were recording, which gave life to the songs, you know, like as we said, like we grew up, we changed a little bit the way that you see what you composed in the past. oh, I could do that better now, but okay, let the past in the past, which sounds better, and things like that. It's like my
Yeah, man.
opinion.
For sure, man. For sure. I mean, like when we recorded the Darkness Descends record, like I said, we recorded that record in 10 sessions, and most of those were graveyard sessions because you went in the studio overnight because it was cheaper. And
Yeah.
back then, all those records coming out of combat, like the ones that we worked with Randy Burns, the producer, and he just got done doing Megadeth's P7 record. Just got done doing that one. And then he got us. And it was like they had given Megadeth so much more money to do their record. So it was like, oh, it was kind of great. And then he got us, and it was just like, oh, fuck, man, like this low budget fucking records, And it's like, oh, we're going to go in this fucking little studio over here and we're going to record. We're going to be up all night recording, and like, but I mean, fuck, we were like in our early 20s, so that was okay.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Not
impossible.
I was laying down solos at 4 a.m. And it's like, well, okay, bust out your best solo right now. Well, it's fucking 4 o'clock, but it's just what we did, and it came out cool. I mean, everybody's still talking about it right now, so
yeah,
it was a beautiful thing. It was a magic moment captured in time.
Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit in Portuguese to the audience and then we go back.
Resume.
Ele fala ali que não tem como relançar de novo o Darkness Descends. Não tem. A gente estava falando sobre o Êxodos ali, a gente conversou sobre essa questão ali, tipo, a banda, quando gravou, ele fala, né, quando eles gravaram era outra vibe, eles estavam numa outra vibe, tinha até coisa gravada errada ali, o cara sabe, de quem é músico sabe que eles erraram algumas coisas ali, e isso é a mágica do disco, né, tipo, eles estavam...
Espontaneidade.
Era mais novo, tinha mais sangue nos olhos, como a gente fala aqui, né? Então isso fez o disco ter uma vibe totalmente poderosa. Ele fala que naquela época ali era engraçado que todo mundo tinha a fita cassete, que era mais barata, né? Todo mundo copiava um do outro, fatal, né? E quando eles foram no primeiro show do Exodus lá, que eles conheceram o Gary, ele falou tipo, a gente tem a fita de vocês, blá, blá, blá. Se fuder, todo mundo tem essa porra. E o disco não tinha saído ainda.
Boas curiosidades.
Né? Então, tipo, ele não planeja fazer isso porque, que nem ele falou, tipo, o que foi feito no passado, ele tem o seu valor. Eles gravaram o Darkness Descends num estúdio às 10 horas da manhã, tipo, depois da meia-noite, né? 10 sessões noturnas, né? Então, tipo, tem feeling ali que, tipo, ele amanheceu fazendo um solo, né? Que é um dos solos que ele mais gosta. Foi, tipo, quando tava amanhecendo, mas ele fala, tipo, a gente tinha 20 anos, não dava nem aí. Mas eles tinham que ir para um estúdio que fosse barato, então era só de noite. Então isso também tem um pouco de, né, afeta no jeito assim. O próprio produtor dizia, tem que terminar isso aqui. Então 10 sessões eles fizeram e produziram bem o álbum.
Assim. Isso é a diferença dos tempos antigos para os novos. O Eric, grande abraço para o nosso querido amigo aqui, que fez uma inglesa aqui, e é uma que eu ia fazer. Cristiano, por favor.
Tá. There is a question from the audience here. Eric is asking, can you tell us something regarding the Ultimate Revenge 2? Any curiosities, background stories about that concert?
Tem muita lenda em cima desse show aqui no Brasil. Fala para ele.
Let me see. Well, the Ultimate, I mean, we were really excited to be part of that project. We were really excited because the way it was presented to us was that, Combat had Venom Slayer Exodus, and that, everybody loved that. Like, oh, okay, we're a version of it. And go in the club, and here's the staff band. And, so yeah, it was an out of town gig for us. We had to fly and go do it. So fly in. So I mean that in itself is exciting because we weren't really doing a whole lot of that at the time. That was cool, and the recording of the show. I mean, it was kind of funny. This is a funny little tip about it. Everybody shows up at the gig at the Trocadero, and everybody's excited. Everybody wants to fucking get going, and there's a whole bunch of bands on there, right? You know, you got Raven and us and Death, and, you know, whatever, it was 5-6 bands or something. Well, we fucking get there, and everybody's setting up, and it's like a technical difficulty, and it was like, and then the guys from Raven, the guys fucking start like, he starts changing the drum heads when everybody is sitting around like fucking waiting to do shit, and this guy the heads on the fucking drum, like, are you fucking serious right now, dude? You're changing heads, like. And everybody, because they were headlining the thing, everybody's like, oh, well, they're heads. Everybody fucking sit around and wait. You know? So that kind of got started off a little bit bad. But so, yeah, so that's what happened. You know, that was the very start of that. And I performance kind of came out pretty cool. You know, they did some kind of, you know, kind of cool video editing. And we tried our best to enjoy a good time. And they had told us, you know, afterwards, after the thing was done, that, you know, we're going to do a tour with Death, you know, that us and Death were going to go out and we were going to do this Ultimate Revenge 2 tour, us 2 bands on there. And we went, that was like our biggest tour time in the United States. And we had a really good time doing that.
For sure.
Doing crazy.
Okay.
And yeah, that was like one of the craziest things I've ever been a part of in my life, was doing that tour and on that, you know, Ultimate Revenge 2. It was crazy stuff. So yeah, it was a beautiful snapshot in time. And, you know, unfortunately, the Leave Scars record kind of didn't do good, you know, production wise as we had hoped, obviously. And which was kind of a shame, but, you know, the record label it, and they pushed it a lot, and I think it kind of took a band to the next level, you know. So production wise, it wasn't all that wonderful. So if I answered the question.
Okay. Ok, I'm gonna ask to say that in Portuguese, sorry. Bom, ele fala que foi. Oi?
Yeah.
Ele fala que foi bem legal. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Ok, this is in Português.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ele fala que foi bem interessante, foi bem legal, eles estavam bem entusiasmados com a oportunidade de tocar, né? Porque tinham bandas grandes ali, né? O Êxodos, o Slayer, o Death, então eles ficaram bem contentes de fazer parte dessa turnê. Assim, eles tiveram problema, né, com a bateria, quando foram gravar o vídeo, que tiraram a bateria deles, se tiveram que montar toda uma outra bateria. Aí, tipo, eles não eram a banda principal, isso aí irritou um pouco, né? Porque, tipo, tava lá tendo que fazer toda a bateria quando eles foram gravar. Mas era interessante que quando foram gravar, tava todo mundo ali das outras bandas na frente também, junto, né? Então isso foi diferente e divertido, assim. Mas a única coisa que ele fala ali que foi chato, que aconteceu, acho que foi o caso do Raven, né? Eles tiraram toda a bateria e eles não podiam pegar a bateria, né? Tipo, tinha que ser outra bateria. Pro Gene montar a bateria, deu um tempão, coisa e tal. E ele fala que a gravação foi bem legal, porém, naquela época deixou muito a desejar, assim, em termos de som, né? Porque padrão da época, aquilo ali não tinha como tu conseguir fazer um vídeo com uma gravação tão boa, que é a única coisa que ele meio que lamenta, assim, né? Que poderia ter sido melhor.
Não, enfim,
assim.
né?
Mas faz parte da história, né? É algo que para eles foi muito importante. Depois fazer a turnê do Ultimate Revenge também foi muito importante, ter tocado com o DF também, que eles tocaram junto. Então isso foi...
Pergunta, Christian, se teve algum... Aqui no Brasil a gente chegava às informações sempre atravessada por intermédio de revistas duvidosas. Pergunta para ele se teve alguma treta com o DF nessa tour.
Well, it's like, you know, that here in Brazil, okay, in the 80s and the 90s, we have like kind of a fake news, you know, people created news just to sell magazines about bands and created fake conflicts between the bands, things like that, in order to sell something. Also, they translated some of the older magazines interviews, the way that was not very accurate, there was like problems with the translation at that time, and then it's like not so accurate. And Jay is asking if you had any problems with that, and Chuck, because in the 80s they said that, oh, there was a problem in the bands and things like that.
Well, it was, this is kind of the way it happened. When we did the Ultimate Revenge video, with all the bands, and we hadn't met any of them before. So, I mean, so it was kind of meeting everybody for the first time. And I remember when we went to the combat offices and they were telling us about the tour. They were like, okay, well, Dark Angel's going to headline the tour, and Death is going to do the support for the tour. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, we'd never met the guys in Death before. Like, okay, well, I mean, whatever, we'll go out, we'll have fun, try to get along with everybody. And apparently, and like I said, we never met those guys before. They're from Florida, the Chuck and the guys. And Chuck basically, right from the start of the tour, he and what the thing really boiled down to on the tour was like when you're playing in a club, and it's a small club, right? The headlining band, they leave your drum set up on the riser. You leave your kit up there, and then the bands in front of that get in front of that, right? That was the whole start of the problem, right there. That was the whole start of the problem. And Chuck was basically happy about it. And right from the get-go, right from the start of the tour, he was having a fit. And he was having a fit over the drum set. And that was the contract that he signed for the tour. And I mean, so it's like, well, the drum sets weren't going to change. And so if he was going to basically have a temper tantrum about it, then he was having a temper tantrum about it. And I mean, it was unfortunate. I mean, and honestly, I mean, myself, I didn't have any conversation with the guy. I mean, I didn't talk to him at all. He didn't. He come into the fucking gig and was yelling, and fucking throwing. He was acting like a fucking kind of like an idiot, really. And it was. And honestly, myself, I wasn't familiar with it. I mean, and I think it's really kind of a tragedy the way I look at it now, because I mean, obviously everybody really loves Death and Chuck, and he's done some great records, and I mean, and even Gene went on playing band and stuff after.
Yeah.
But at that time, when we did that tour, he didn't talk to me. Chuck didn't talk to me whatsoever. I mean, I talked with Butler, the bass player. He seemed like a cool guy. He was pretty mellow. But, and Rick Ross, the guitar player that he had, that guy was really cool. And he hung out with us a bit. And he felt bad that he kind of felt like he was stuck in the middle of this whole situation. And and Bill Andrews, I mean, I didn't really talk to him either. They were kind of trying to stay with, being on Chuck's team. And we were just kind of, whatever, man. If you guys don't want to play, you don't have to play. And it was unfortunate. They did a few dates on the tour, and Chuck had a temper tantrum, and they bailed off the tour. And it's like, okay, well, we'll play shows without him. And then all of a sudden one day they showed up again at the tour. It's like, wow, okay, they're back again. Great. They actually drove to another date. They came in, they loaded their gear in, and then they loaded it back out again. They took off again. And it's like, and honestly, we were just laughing about it, really. It's like, man, what the fuck are these guys doing, man? You know, just waiting, really, you know? And so, I mean, we played a bunch of shows without them on the tour. And that's kind of the way it went. And, you know, Chuck passed away, and, you know, it's tragic, obviously. I mean, the guy, you can't deny his accomplishments for the genre. And I feel I'm kind of sad that I didn't really get a chance to meet the guy or to get to know him. I mean, Gene got to know him. You know, Chuck reached out to Gene, hey, do you want to play on my records? And Gene was like, yeah, sure, I will. And they talked about it. And I guess they ironed everything out amongst themselves. But
lots of people always said that Chuck was a little bit difficult to deal with. You know,
yes, that's what
it's like a personality that it's not so easy to deal.
I've gotten to know Rick Ross, I mean, more recently, and I remember, and I've heard from other people that I guess that there was like going to be a European tour, and those guys fucking, and like Chuck didn't go or something. So I mean, he's, you know, the guy kind of had some mental issues or something. You know, I mean, definitely not being. Okay, I'm just going to be a trooper and get through these shows and move on, you know, instead of, I mean, we're not at Van Halen level here. We're just some small bands playing clubs, you know, and we're all just kind of trying to get through it, you know, but.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Difícil resumir.
Okay. I'm going to speak in Portuguese a little bit.
Resume.
Bom, falando da treta que houve lá no Ultimate Revenge, foi o seguinte.
Deu treta.
Deu treta, porque o que acontece? O Dark Angel era o headliner da turnê, ok? No problem. Eles eram o headliner da turnê e o Def era a segunda banda. O que acontece, né? Todo mundo sabe que a banda headliner tem seu kit de bateria montado num plano mais alto e toda a aparelhagem mais alta do que a banda que vai abrir. O Chuck não gostou disso. Começou a berrar, a xingar todo mundo lá, que a bateria dos caras tá mais alta, o negócio tá melhor para eles, blá. Ele fez todo esse esquema. O Eric fala que ele nunca falou com o Chuck pessoalmente, ele não conhecia os caras pessoalmente, porque uns são da Flórida, né? E ele nunca tinha visto os caras antes. Foram os caras da Combate que organizaram a tour, ótimo, vamos fazer a tour junto, né? E o que aconteceu foi isso, ele não ouviu da boca do Chuck o Chuck falando isso com ele. Ele ouviu o Chuck berrando num palco, indignado que aquilo ali era sacanagem, estavam sacaneando a banda, que não sei o que eles não estavam conseguindo fazer um show decente, que eles eram a banda de abertura, né? E o Dark Angel era a banda principal, blá. Então, tipo, né? Só que o Eric fala, tipo, cara, tava no contrato, tá ali, ó, vocês assinaram que iam ser a banda que, né, iam tocar. Nós somos o headliner, vocês são a banda de apoio. Então ele assinou isso, ele sabia disso. Ele fala que, né, ele conheceu o Rick Ross era bem gente fina, foi muito legal com ele, o baixista também, né? Então, tipo, eles
grande abraço pro Rick Ross, a gente estava batendo um papo aqui no chat. Abraço, Rick Ross.
Ele fala que ele nunca teve um estresse com o Chuck, tá? Ele nunca conversou com o Chuck. O Gene, sim, o Gene era amigo, depois ele chamou o Gene para tocar.
Resumo da obra, deu um telefone sem fio, alguma coisa assim, conversa atravessada?
Não, na verdade ele fala que o que aconteceu foi, né, que o Chuck realmente era uma pessoa difícil de lidar, tanto que o Rick Ross e a galera se ferraram quando foram tocar na Europa sem ele, né? Ele não gostou nem um pouquinho, né? Tipo, dos caras terem feito o show.
Então não era fake news, era verdade mesmo. Tirei a dúvida de 30 anos.
Mas o estresse não foi os dois se batendo um com o outro de frente. Foi mais ele ouvindo no background o Chuck berrando e xingando lá que não estava de acordo com o que ele queria. Tanto que, seguinte, quando começaram a fazer os shows, na metade do show eles se largaram fora, deixaram o Dark Angel sozinho.
Sim,
2 shows depois eles apareceram. Eles levaram toda a aparelhagem embora. 2, 3 shows depois eles apareceram com a aparelhagem. Ó, estamos de volta.
Então fechou, fez sentido. Vamos liberar o Eric, Cristiano. A gente chegou em 1 hora aqui, passa rápido, é muita curiosidade. Para ele sintetizar, Darkness Descends, 36 anos, né? como ele conseguiria traduzir o Darkness Descends em poucas palavras.
Tá. We are about to finish the talk, okay? And Jay is asking you to synthesize Darkness Descends. 36 years old now. How would you synthesize this in one word, you know? Brutality.
Brutal. Right?
Yeah. For sure.
I think so.
Não existe uma chance de eles tocarem o disco na íntegra aí nos shows?
Jay is asking if there is any chance of playing Darkness Descent, the entire album, in a concert.
I don't know. I mean, maybe.
That would be great.
No, we haven't really done any of that. Play the whole record thing. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think we like to play, sampling all the songs when we play. So, I mean, that's kind of what we do, but
for sure,
you never know.
And how about, are you planning to play any of these new songs that you're going to present next year? Maybe. I don't know. I am honestly not sure if that's going to be in the game. I give it a maybe. I mean, we're kind of in the demo. That would be great, right? You know, like.
What's that?
I think most of the people are excited knowing that you have planning something new for the new year. Most of the people are excited because you were playing it again. You know, we have a Dark Angel again playing, and like the guys all together. You know, it's amazing to see that. And as we said before, here in Brazil, we are excited. We are like, finally, we're gonna have a chance. We expect. We are finally going to have a chance to see Dark Angel performing in Brazil. You know, it's exciting, you know, like to see that there is this possibility now because you're back.
Yeah, man, I hope so. I mean, I'd love to play everywhere and anywhere. And I would be glad to. And it kind of seems that our show is far between, but, you know, maybe you guys, all you Brazilian people, could go over to Chile or something and go see us down there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right?
I would like you to leave a message for the audience in Brazil, okay?
I thank you guys so much for coming and check this out and all of your unwavering support of the Dark Angel metal machine, man. We fucking love you guys, honestly, man. And it means the world to me to have fans that are still in music after all this time, and absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much. Okay?
Thank you very much.
To you, okay? It's like amazing, and it's like difficult to describe. How was it to be talking to you and the anniversary of the album, which was really important?
I know, that's fucking amazing, right? I didn't even read that till I see the stuff online. I'm like, oh my god, it's the fucking anniversary. How cool is that?
You know, like I remember when I was 15, listening to that. You know, like I was going. Amazing.
Right? Yeah. Look at that. How fun is that, man? The guitar on the record. Here it is.
Olha aí, cara, relíquia, meu. Incrível. Incrível.
Só para finalizar ali rapidinho, né? I'm gonna speak a little bit in Portuguese here. Só para finalizar, ele não sabe se tocariam na íntegra o Darkness Descent, mas ele gostaria mais de tocar, né? Os álbuns em sequência, né? Partes de cada álbum, sim. Eu perguntei se tem alguma chance de ouvir esse novo som que eles estão planejando aí. Ele disse que talvez. Vamos deixar claro num talvez, assim. Tem essa possibilidade. Também que eles esperam realmente vir para o Brasil, né? E também ele convidou o pessoal que conseguir ir para o Chile lá, ver eles no Chile também, né? São bem-vindos lá, né? Mas eles estão bem entusiasmados também. E ele também ficou bem contente. Nem ele lembrava que hoje era 36 anos do Darkness Descent, né? Quando nós mandamos ali o anniversary no Heavy Culture, o banner, ele ficou 36 anos agora, né? Então, tipo, ele também tá bem emocionado com esse fato também, assim, de estar, né? Como a gente tá também, né? Conversando com ele, 36 anos, lembrando quão importante foi esse álbum pra mim, pra ti, né? Pro pessoal aí que era guri quando escutou isso aí, eu tinha meus 16, 17 anos, sei lá. era piá, né? Então, tipo,
Isso aí.
valeu mesmo.
Eric, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you guys so much. And everybody out in Brazil, man, I hope I can see you guys soon, man. It'd be awesome.
We really hope to see you. Okay? You're welcome.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Archangel no Brasil, galera. Vamos fazer a corrente do mal.
Yeah, we're going to start the campaign. Bring Dark Angel to Brazil.
Yeah, do it. Do it. We need to do that. All right, you guys.
Yeah.
Galera,
Thank
obrigado.
you. Thank you, and see you later.
See you later.
Galera, e se inscreve no canal, curte e acompanha o Heavy Culture. Obrigado, Christian. Thank you so much.
Valeu.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it here. It was a pleasure.